But I certainly know you have a lot to
Now, takeaways from the peace accord, considering the magnitude of violence in 2011 elections. One takeaway for me and many others was from the speech of the incumbent president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. He started his speech by saying that the federal government paid compensation to the tune of 15 billion naira. 15 billion naira, whopping amount that could have been used for other development issues. So violence does no country any good. Another takeaway from that peace accord include feelers we are now getting from the office of the Special Advisor on Intra-Party Affairs. Of course, they organized that event in conjunction with the office of the UNDP. Signatories to that accord must abide by the terms of the agreement. The presidential aide said that the committee, comprising eminent Nigerians and nominees of the political parties, will be constituted soon to undertake that task. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Chukuma. Well, let's go over now to Emmanuel Ereye. He's standing by in Port Harcourt in Rivers State, and that should pop up on the screen as well. He's also one of those who we will be speaking with. We will also be speaking with all the correspondents in Oyo State. But Emmanuel is on the screen now. Emmanuel, tell us what's going on where you are.
Thank you, Chamberlain. Let me tell you that the resident electoral commissioner in Rivers State has since resumed. She's Dame Gasila Khan. She was first appointed a resident electoral commissioner in Delta State in 2011 after the general elections. Our first shot at a job description was the conduct of a by-election at the Delta State Central Senatorial District. Many people believe that in River State, given its, the peculiarities in the political environment, the call to conduct elections here will be tougher than what was experienced in Delta State. Now, in a recent meeting with leaders of political parties in the state, she left no one in doubt that she means business, insisting that INEC was committed to ensuring that the electoral body conducts credible polls in the February election in the state. The use of the temporal voters card as suggested by members of the House of Representatives as a fallback if voters do not get their PVCs before the February election, seem to have taken center stage. She insisted that that was not the right way to go to ensure that electoral malpractices do not find their way into the electoral process in Rivers State, insisting that Rivers people, registered would-be voters, will get their PVCs before the February elections. Now, representatives of political parties that were present at the meeting seem to have supported that particular position. But Chamberlain, the time factor in terms of ensuring that Rivers people get their PVCs before the February election continue to have a question mark hanging on its head. Chamberlain.
What's the level of commitment about these people?
Well, Chamberlain, everyone seemed to be committed to a violence-free election, at least at first sight. The political parties, the people, other stakeholders claim to be committed to a violence-free election or electioneering process. But what the people want to see is something that is beyond just ink on paper. They want to see a clear demonstration of that commitment. They want to see politicians conduct their political campaigns and rallies in responsible ways to ensure that fracas and skirmishes do not break out as a result of their political meetings. And I must tell you that it's not just the political parties, the people, INEC, that are worried about ensuring that the elections are violence-free. Even the Rivers State Police Command had issued what appears to many as a warning to all political parties that their campaigns, their political meetings must be conducted responsibly, that the force will no longer tolerate any outburst or outbreak of violence or skirmishes across the state against the backdrop of their political campaigns and rallies that are in full swing as we speak right now. Again, Rivers people want to see the police meet their words with action in ensuring that politicians are kept in check, if you like, and political meetings are not allowed to produce the kind of skirmishes that we had seen recently in the state. Chamberlain.
All right, thank you, Emmanuel. Emmanuel Ereyi, correspondent in River State in Port Harcourt. But Bukola Ariowo, our correspondent in Ibadan, is also standing by, and she should be popping up to tell us who's talking about elections and a safe one, violence-free one too. Bukola?
Our preparations are in top gear to receive General Muhammadu Buhari, who is the APC presidential candidate for tomorrow. And I learned that at the event, the official flag will be given to Governor Abiola Ajimobi, who is running for a second term in office. I'm aware that other political parties like the PDP have also flagged off theirs. The Labour Party, the SDP, and the Accord too also flagged off theirs a couple of days ago in Oyo town. The Labour Party, SDP, and other political parties are in the process of also flagging off the same. And on the peace pact recently signed, that there will be undertakings have been made that there will be no violence. And at the state level, all the chairmen of political parties that we have spoken to, from the PDP, the APC, Labour Party, Accord, the SDP, and others also appear to be in tandem with the same pact that was signed in Abuja. And they all say that preparations are in top gear. Sensitization and awareness campaigns are ongoing at various levels to make sure that the coming elections are violence and rancor-free in Oyo State.
All right, thank you, Bukola. Well, Bukola Ariowo, our correspondent in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. So there you have some of the comments coming through from them in the interview we had with our correspondents across the country earlier today. Well, we're getting back to our focus here about the violence-free polls, approach to the violence-free polls. You do remember that 14 presidential candidates were involved in this one, signing this accord. Well, yes, there are those who have suggested perhaps if we make billboards of the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, that of the APC, and perhaps all the other parties, because there were images, if we could even see some of them, images of those two leading political parties dotting the political scene, and some thought this, perhaps, if we could have some translations in different languages, will that work? You're a communication expert. What kind of impact will that have?
No, I think the best learning point still has to be those who are aspiring to political offices actually leading by example. We've seen declarations, for instance, made by the opposition party that should the elections not go their way, or if the elections were suspected to be rigged, that they were going to form a parallel government. Now, this is an open invitation to not just violence, but anarchy itself.
Does that still subsist in the light of this?
Well, you know, I felt, you know, that was a very difficult statement to accept by Nigerians, because there is a constitutional protocol for going about resolving grievances arising from electoral practices. If a party has lost an election and you are not satisfied with the elections, you can go through the constitutional process. But to say you will run a parallel government is an open invitation to violence. Now, it is possible that those who are political practitioners, those who are political actors are vying for different offices, may just make this kind of statements at the declarative level. But those of their foot soldiers who are scattered all over the country take these statements very seriously. And so what I think is that we need an increased commitment on the part of all political stakeholders to non-violence. But more importantly, what I think is that we need to make sure that those who eventually commit acts of violence are in fact seen to be prosecuted. Because I think the most sustainable protocol for guaranteeing free and fair elections will be to make it clear to those who perpetrate violence that if you perpetrate violence, you will be